Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Eric C. Jackson, and I am going to go through a few points today about just progress for the studio. I actually did write down my 4 points that I want to go over pretty quickly, but I feel like these are all important. Now, as you guys know, I have moved into a new space, a new location, and I believe I went through the story about all of that. But as you can see, I'm in my living room right now, and I did plan on, when I moved, I initially planned on moving my space into the room next to me, but it just didn't work out the way I thought it would. So I'm out here, and I'm hoping to just kind of make this more organized as far as presentation. So I'll see what I can come up with. But for right now, I'm working on the website. And the biggest issue that I was running into was international visitors, or the international audience, moving from the previous web host I had with Photodeck, moving back to Shopify a few months ago. I noticed that the audience internationally, there was a steep drop off, and I was wondering what was going on. So I ended up doing some digging, some research, and found out that especially for European Union countries, Canada, quite a few countries internationally, they have a standard or a rule that says that in order for your website to be shown, and I believe to be in search results, you have to have a cookie consent on the website. So just briefly going over what the message down here says: we and our partners, including Shopify, use cookies and other technologies to personalize your experience, show you ads, and perform analytics. And we will not use cookies or other technologies for these purposes unless you accept them. And of course, there's a link to the privacy policy, and what they would have to do is click on accept, and then also there's they can manage preferences here. So accept all, decline all, save my choices, and that is required, especially in the European Union countries. So I did notice that once I figured out how to add this to my Shopify store, my international audience, I'm starting to get a few trickle in now. So I believe it's going to take some time for this to actually process, but I think that's progress there. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can show you guys where this is, because I didn't know where to find it on my Shopify store. And I didn't write this down earlier because I was just looking from one menu to the next menu, trying to figure out how to turn it on. Okay, here we go. So when you come to your homepage, okay, for your Shopify account, you come down to settings down here in the corner, and then it is customer privacy down here, right above policies on the bottom. So you click on that, and that is where you will find your privacy policy, your cookie banner, data sharing, opt-out page, and obviously the data sharing is for California, Colorado, and some other states in the U.S. And then your cookie banner, you would click on that, and it will show you for first of all to turn it on. This is your on and off switch over here. But this is for Austria, Belgium, 29 other regions, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Sweden, United Kingdom. You have options to for the colors to go light, dark, or you can custom like what color it's going to be when it pops up on your web page or your home page. And then you can customize your position, or just, I should say, choose from the options here. So I went with the bottom full width, so they won't miss it. And yeah, the only thing I did turn off was at the checkout. It says this may reduce checkout conversion rate, so I turned that off. Because I'm figuring that by the time they get to the checkout page, they'll have seen a notification already and chosen, their options, their preferences. But yes, there's quite a few countries here that need to see the cookie banner notification and accept it, decline it, however they choose, but it needs to be there in order for lawfully, in order for them to see it. So I believe it has to do with e-commerce websites. So especially if you're selling something, I think the notification needs to be there. And I enabled that maybe 2 days ago. And I went to my live visitors today, and I actually have, let's see, is it today? Is it yesterday? I think I got a visit from Sweden, which was a first. Yeah, Stockholm County, Sweden. And that's the first I've seen a visitor from that part of the world. For the most part, my visits have been in the United States so far. So if you just search under location, 30 days. And then I have quite a few visits from Malaysia. So, and that's the live feed. There is more under analytics. So if you go last 30 days, apply, all of your stats will come up. Because with the previous web hosts, they were based in Germany, I want to say. They were definitely in the EU. So I got a lot of visitors to the previous website from that part of the world. And I want to make sure that they migrate over here to the Shopify store. So yeah, Singapore, I used to get a lot of those. And Malaysia, not so much. So I'm surprised with that one. South Africa, for sure. So slowly but surely they're coming over this way to the new website. But that's really what I'm looking for. And I think it's going to take, I want to give it a month or so. So I would say this time in August, I'll come back and look at the overall views and see where the traffic is coming in from. And then the other thing that I would look at is the products. Look over here, sessions by landing page. And it'll tell you which products are bringing in the most traffic. And then once you figure that out, those are the ones getting the most traffic. Those are the ones that you can promote even more and try to push the sales on. So there's that. That's my point number one. So definitely. And then for myself, I usually hide this bar. I would have to accept the cookies as well when it comes back up here. Let me see if I can make this come back. There it is. So just accept that. There we go. All right. So again, once they accept it, visitors accept the cookie's consent and they make up all their, or they decide with all their options or preferences, it shouldn't be a pop-up after that. It's just on their initial visit where they have to punch in all that information or select that information there. And as far as the website in general, I did update the feature photo that I mentioned on the last podcast. I did a little bit of tweaking here. I did mention the book finally. West cover is still there. And then I also mentioned the YouTube app that you can use if you want to have one of the series, like the Water series and the Dark Light series, is available on your smart TV through the YouTube app. So you would just go to YouTube and yeah, this would basically take up the entire screen. And eventually it goes through the entire series. And it lasts about 2 hours. I wouldn't say it's a screensaver because each image is going to stay there for about 10 minutes. So it's going to be a static image for about 10 minutes and then it'll rotate or switch to a different image. But that's if when your TV is usually just off and you want to play something on it, or you want a piece of artwork there instead of the blank TV screen, then you would go to with the YouTube app, you would go to my channel and select one of these. So there's just 2 available right now, and I haven't worked on any more after that, but it's definitely on my to-do list to add more. But there's that. So that's the website. I don't think I did much of anything else. I will say with the Shopify, or integrating Whitewall with the Shopify store, that is basically finished. So all of my work is finally posted here. The only thing that I need to do, which is a huge step, but once you go to the actual print, I have to add the rest of the products onto each photograph. And like I said before, the black and white prints are going to have 14 products available, and then the color photography is going to have 12 products available. And just to reiterate what I shared last time, I think Clarify is finished, and I know Acute Perception is done. So you will have a lot of product to choose from glossy canvas to floater frames. It'll all be there. It just takes time for me, like I said before, to add all the products to each photography print. So there's that. And then I have to add all the image descriptions, so that visitors will know what the product looks like. And that just gives everyone an idea of what's going to actually arrive when it's delivered. Now, the other thing too, I'm just thinking of more stuff, is the delivery time. Now, all of these are print on demand. So from the time that you order to the time it arrives, most of the products are 8 business days, but some of them are 11. And so I want to include that information on here. Like, what's the delivery time? I believe it is in the shipping policy as far as production time. But I'm noticing that people really don't come to this page at all. So they don't see that part of it. So I really do want to add that information to each product, so it's there to make sure everyone sees it. And then the other thing that I added yesterday, I added books on here, which I do have a coming soon tag. But here's the thing. I want to list the books here, but all the orders are going to go directly through Amazon. So even though it does say sold out on here, I'm going to put a little notation that the books are in stock on Amazon. So once you click on here, there's a description, there's the link to Amazon. Once you click on that link, it'll take you directly to that book's page on Amazon. So you'll be able to purchase it there. And then it would make more sense for me to have a limited number of these books in stock, so that there is no sold out sign up here. Because I imagine now that I'm looking at it, that can be confusing. Like, is it sold out or is it in stock? So there's 2 other, there's a children's ebook I want to add here, and also Prison of Despair. I need to add that to that page as well. And there's the link here. So there's that. I'm working on that part. Okay, so now I'm going to move to that was the second update. I'm going to move to the third update I have out of the 4, which is I finally figured out how to link the website to Metricool, which I heard about through, I think, one of Latasha James's podcasts. But I never figured out how to get that, get it to work on my website. So when I moved my site back to Shopify, I started doing some more digging, and then there's a pixel tag that you have to add to the theme of your website, so that now I can actually see on the web, on my website, the analytics. So I think I got that working 2 days ago. Yeah. So on the 30th, June 30th, I finally got it working correctly. And so it's only been running for 2 days. So it picks up the page views, visits, visitors. This is the country. Here's the visit from Sweden that I was referring to earlier. And again, my goal is to have the map covered because the bulk of my visits are from the US. So I would like to have the map covered up, completely covered as much as possible, which means that I'm getting visits from all over the world. And that just gives me a better chance to see what collectors like in terms of artwork, or books, either one. And yeah, that'll help me with my marketing even more, to know what to promote, because I have a lot of product, just a lot. So once I started seeing a trend of which art pieces people are going towards, or visiting, or clicking on, then I'll do my best to promote those. But yes, with this one, I do have the free plan. I'm just gonna see how everything works, and then when more revenue comes in, then I can invest that back into the business or into upgrading the plan. But for right now, I would say you go back to your home tab on Shopify, you go down here to edit code, and where is it? This is the theme. Is this the one with the footer? Yeah, you have to go with the footer. So this is actually the code, and I'm trying not to break anything right now. But that's the code that I added from Metricool, and you put it in the footer. How do you find the footer? You have to type it over here. It's above my camera feed right there. You just type in footer, and it will come up in a drop down. Let me move my camera out the way a little bit. But yeah, there it is right there. So you type in footer in the search bar, and you'll see footer.liquid. And then you have to figure out where to put the code for Metricool without breaking anything. So I decided to let this one stay up at the top. And then once I got to this part, can I expand this? I don't know if I can. There we go. So you see it says end if. So there's a space right there, right? See how you have these end if, and then there's an empty space. I decided just to pick the first empty space. So that's where it starts. And then it says end if, and I'm figuring that's the end of that particular code before they start on something else. And so that's where I ended up putting it. The script function, and I don't know what all this means, but that's how it reads it. And it's the same thing if you want to integrate. I think it's Google Analytics, I think does something similar as well. But again, just be careful not to break anything. But yeah, so that's working. I did go back also with Metricool and refresh my other links to the social media channels. I've been posting practically every day for the past week, so I'm just looking at how people respond. Or do I get any more responses? So I did miss posting yesterday because I wasn't really feeling great at all, so I just decided to take the night off. But this is what's been going on. 4 impressions there, 6. This is tracking the engagement, interactions. And then these are all my posts. Now, from this, I noticed that the post that I'm actually in, because I just took a photograph of myself and my my new monitor setup. That one got the most comments, the most reactions, the most clicks, the most impressions, the most reach. So, yeah, the engagement is all the way up to 84%. I think that's the percentage, right? Yeah, 84.2%. So I'm going to have to be in front of the camera quite a bit more than I'm used to. Because when I'm just posting my artwork, like for the most part, it's getting a few impressions and not really much, if any, engagement on Facebook. So those are the types of things that you just notice when you're looking at where your posts rank compared to other posts that you've done. So that's the part that jumped out with me so far. This is on Instagram. So I lost a follower, but I know I gained a follower. And these are followers by country. Wow, there's quite a few. They're all over. Okay. But the thing I do like about Metricool is that I can understand the analytics a lot better than I can with Shopify's analytic pages. It just took me a while longer to grasp how Shopify lays everything out. But this is all the reach here. Engagement is up, interactions is up. And again, as far as views, that same post that was doing well on Facebook is doing the best on Instagram as well. So, I don't know, it's just something that I have to pay attention to. I posted, where is it? I thought I put it on here. No, I don't see it. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this one up. Here it is. Yeah, so, and I don't get a lot of engagement on Instagram or most of the social media platforms, but a few people did respond on this one. So, and then there's Threads. I don't know about Threads. I'm not really seeing much engagement on there. I don't know. It just seems really flat. My impressions aren't a lot. Like I'm not getting very many impressions at all. I don't know. So I would say like try different types of post. You can post more about yourself. You can post obviously about the business, of course, but then there's different ways to post about yourself. There's different ways to post about the business. So you would try different things and see if anything's gaining traction. But like I said before, I feel like I have too many social media profiles. So if something's really not getting any attention, even with posting every day or every other day, then I'm just thinking that I can deactivate or close that profile, because I'm just trying to save time as much as possible. Now, Twitter is under premium, so I would have to upgrade to see my Twitter, um, what the analytics are doing, and or I should say X. I've been posting like I'm supposed to on X. The thing that I'm fighting with is the algorithm. I've noticed that X is very politics heavy, right? So anytime I've come to the trending news or like the hashtags, whatever's trending, if it's politics, I will say I'm not interested in it. And I've been doing that for like 5 or 6 days now. Anytime I see something that when I come to this page, my profile, and I see something about politics, I get rid of it. And it took 3 or 4 days, but now the algorithm is starting to learn that Eric does not want to see politics. He doesn't want to see anything about U.S. news or international news or whatever is going on in Congress. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. I do pay attention to that type of stuff, but not when I'm focused on my business, right? So, personal life, personal things, personal profiles, fine. I watch the news all the time. But when I'm on my business profile, I don't want to have all this stuff about politics or whatever's going on getting thrown at me on my feed or trending on the trending list. So now I've been stuck on sports for a while. And I'm slowly but surely turning that off as well. I do want to lean into the arts, culture, and business, finance, that sort of thing. So this is like the slowest algorithm ever in terms of pointing it in the right direction. I would say that like when you're on YouTube and you say, I don't want to see something from this channel or I'm not interested in this subject, that algorithm changes so fast in terms of just overall what it refers to you or recommends to you. That algorithm changes really fast. The X algorithm is so far extremely slow, extremely stubborn. It keeps trying to, promote news or promote sports. It'll go to business, finance, arts, and culture a little bit, but it'll go right back to sports, right back to news. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is is not as good as some of the other ones. So yeah, I've been fighting with it. Now, as far as engagement, it's about the same across the board. Even though, like, here's a post, and look at the impressions, 125, which is way higher. Like, it's not even close. Like, this is 19, 12, 17, and that's a picture of me as well, but it didn't do very well. 16, 10, that's also a photo of me, but it didn't do nearly as well at all. This one's 11. So yeah, for some reason, this just, I think across the board, except for threads, like that it really didn't make a difference. But on the other channels, Facebook, Instagram, on X as well, this one did pretty well. So it made me think that what I can do for my setup in terms of photographing and probably also streaming or creating a podcast is that I can use my monitors as the background and turn that way. And so when the camera's on me, you guys aren't seeing what's behind me there, but you're seeing my artwork on the monitors and probably a few pieces on the wall. And that'll be a better background. But then that means that I'm going to have to figure out what am I going to do with the microphone? The computer is over here. So I'm going to have to move everything, flip everything around, but keep the monitors here. I'm thinking about working off of my laptop. The PC laptop that I don't like the screen on. But I could use that for OBS Studio to record the podcast, and then so I can keep the monitors as the background. I have to do some digging to make sure that I can set up the OBS correctly, the recording, the sound, all of that. Because right now everything is hooked into my Mac Mini, so I would have to switch that out. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so Blue Sky, I don't have a Blue Sky account. I'm not really in a rush to get a Blue Sky account. I've heard of it before. I don't know how it compares with Threads as far as how my reach would be. I don't know. And then there's LinkedIn. Of course, I have a business account on LinkedIn. So let's see. As far as reach, I don't know. Let me see if I can go. Well, show all post. It doesn't tell me up front what everything is, so I guess I have to go into the admin. Post impressions are 48. Visitors 6 in the last 7 days. That's up 100%. Searches is down 33.3. I don't see anything. Yeah, it's not showing me. Oh, here's analytics. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Impressions. I don't know. It's showing me everything in general. Well, what I was hoping for was to see the post, what I actually post on the business profile. Well, the only other thing I could do is... No, there's no... They don't show you the individual stats, which is weird. Or at least I can't find them right now. Oh, Oh, this is it. They're just not showing me the picture. Okay, never mind. Um, yeah, I'm looking right at it. They just don't have the thumbnail or anything like that. It's just the text. So let's see if I can filter. Can I filter this? Yeah, there it is. It's about the same as the rest of them. Yeah, it's about the same. I have gotten more visitors to this particular profile, but it really hasn't moved very much. So I'm thinking now that I have to share what I post on the business profile, share that to my personal profile feed, and try to lure people over to the business profile. Because I think my personal profile is getting more traffic coming through. Now, Google Business has not really moved very much. They do have an update feature where you can post an update, which is down here, but it really doesn't do much of anything as far as I can tell. And now it got to the point where I can't even see the post on the profile anymore. So when I go to my Google Business profile that's in search, this is the update, add update. You can add posts like it's a social media post, but the sidebar where you would see the post on your profile is not there anymore. So I don't know where they put it, or if they're deleting it, or if it's somewhere else. It's just not. It's not there anymore. It's gone. So when I post something, I don't know where they put it. Now these up here, this is all the information from, like, this is on Instagram, this is on X, this is the main website, this is Instagram. Yeah, so they replaced it with everything I'm posting on my other social media channels. But posting directly on your Google business profile, like, I don't see mine anymore. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to skip this one. As long as it's going to keep picking up the posts that I put on my other profiles, then there's no reason for me to post it directly on Google Business anymore, especially if it's not going to be here for me to see it. Let's see, it says view profile. There it is. That's what I was looking for. I don't know, maybe they moved it to a different page. But anyway, that's what I was looking for. So when you post things, this is where they end up. See, it has add update right here. Add update. And then you can post something. It doesn't accept keywords. So if you put keywords in it, it's not going to do anything. But you do get to add a custom link to your updates. And it keeps you in, I guess the search engine just notices when you post things. So it picks up all this stuff. So there's that. I just didn't know where they put it. So I'm probably going to have to resave this because maybe my landing page that I saved before just moved. But yeah, there's plenty of posts here. So there's that. Now, in terms of analytics, I don't know. Let's see. We've got performance button, business profile interactions. They do push the advertising a lot. It's not a free $500. I think you have to spend $500 in order to get the $500. I think that's how it is, how it goes. And then the website clicks. Yeah, so in terms of engagement, I haven't had very much at all. But obviously, I'm not getting rid of my profile because it's already verified with Google. And if I do get traffic, I guess they can go through the links down here. Yeah. But yeah, I updated all the information here. So there's that. And then YouTube is doing okay. Instead of posting a video every 7 days, I'm posting a video probably every 9 to 10 days. But then even more than that, I think the presentation, how I present the podcast has to improve, and so that's what I'm going to be looking into. Now on the YouTube side, I have been posting on the post tab a lot more. So there's that. So basically, I treat this like the social media part of YouTube. But yeah, the presentation of the videos definitely needs to be improved. And once I start feeling better, I want to focus on that quite a bit more and see how I want to approach it. I think for right now, I'm just trying to get past this week. I'm trying to get to the 3-day weekend and one more day of work tomorrow. So on my day job, I should say. And I just want to get some rest. Because I think between moving and trying to get everything set up, it's just been, June was really, really busy. And I think going into July, everything's going to settle down a little bit. And I'm not going to be, it's not going to be so busy, so chaotic. Now with TikTok, as I explained from the last podcast, is getting more attention. But again, I think presentation, working on that will help, and just staying consistent. But if you look at the post views, they have risen over 450%. but I've only gotten 3 likes. so so there's that. Um, and then I've tried to post. I did do a post with just me talking in the camera, and that didn't do very well at all. So I'm looking into what people are responding to um, on TikTok and posting more of that once I find out what grabs their attention. But I mean, as far as like comparing the impressions, like compared to Instagram, compared to Facebook, TikTok is doing much better on a consistent basis. But again, engagement, you know, um, not really good at all. But in terms of views, I noticed that people are coming to the profile and viewing my profile because they're going through their feed and they're looking at, whatever I posted for that day. And I do have more people coming from their feed to the business profile on TikTok. And so there's that. Now, I did figure out what was going on with the TikTok store. I can't link directly to the TikTok store because of the White Wall app. The inventory is managed by my photo lab. It's not managed by Shopify. So since it's not managed by Shopify, TikTok is viewing my inventory as empty, like everything is sold out. So, which is obviously is not the case, but I would have to go back to TikTok managing the inventory in order for me to be able to link a product to a TikTok post. And I think that's the same thing for I want to say X, but I haven't checked on that one either. Maybe it's just for TikTok. That's the only one I can think of right now that I've tried in terms of the store syncing correctly. But yeah, that's definitely what's going on with that one. But even if I go to analytics on Shopify, you go to referrals, like I talked about in the last episode. Like there's TikTok, and then Facebook is all the way down at 12 compared to TikTok at 138 referrals, which is crazy. Facebook is at 12, Pinterest is at 2, YouTube is 1, Instagram is 0. Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm like, well, if it's working, that's what I'll go with. Okay, did I miss anything? Oh, of course, the last one. And I saved Pinterest for last because this is actually my 4th point. Metricool was number 3. Going to Pinterest, point number 4. Very unique because my follower count has not moved in several months. But the engagement is starting to pick up on here. Like there's a huge jump because I've been adding a lot of product. And so again, Shopify is in sync with Pinterest, my business account on Pinterest. And it does post every variant of every print product automatically. I don't have to do that. It's just that I don't see that on the business profile homepage. I don't see every variant of every product. I have to post those manually, but they are in other people's home feeds. So that's pulling in a lot of traffic. So yeah, my numbers for Pinterest are going through the roof in terms of impressions. Like, it's blowing everything else out of the water, including TikTok. It's not even close, because I'm reaching almost 90,000 impressions. It's just going through the roof. And then you look at engagement. I'm at 1.07 thousand, which is down from where it was before. But yeah, the is this 1,000 or is this 1.66? I might be reading that number wrong in terms of is it 1,000 or is it percentage? Engagement 0.01, interactions 41. And then you see 7 pins over here. That's from myself. I've manually posted 7 pins, but those 7 pins aren't getting most of the impressions. The impressions are coming from everything that's in the background that's in sync with the Shopify store. And then we have the clicks, pin clicks, which is people are clicking on the pins, which is driving them to the website. I don't know, because I definitely don't see 856 in the Shopify analytics. I don't see it. Okay, so you know what that is? That's not an outbound click. That's what it is. So in Pinterest, they're clicking on my pin or my post on there. And then the outbound is, so once they click on it in Pinterest, they would have to click on the visit site button to get to the Shopify store. So that's where the 8 outbound clicks comes from. And then we got 91 saves, which is actually great because that's plus 80. That's an improvement of 727%. And I think this is compared to 30 days ago. So there's that. The outbound clicks is down 27%. Now people actually clicking on the pins, that's up over 200% to this point. And this is comparing the last 30 days or so, June 2nd to July 1st. So there's that. And then you look at the impressions here. These are the posts that I have organically or manually posted, I should say. 87 impressions, 1 click, no outbound. So that's what that looks like. Now, Pinterest itself, if you watch a podcast from 3 months ago, this was really down by a lot because I was starting from scratch. So it was less than 1,000 monthly views. And right now, I'm 2 days ago or yesterday, it finally refreshed and I'm above 94,000. I'm almost at 95,000 views per month. At least that's the track of it. Now, what I'm not expecting that to be sustained. So I'm going to see where it levels off at. But These are not the pins that are drawing in all of that traffic. So if you come over to saved, let me move my camera out of the way again. Hold on. So there it is, right below my camera. You see that all pins? There's almost 250,000 unique pins. And that's where all the traffic is coming from. Now, when you click on all pins, which I just talked with their staff last week, they had to explain it to me because I was confused. I'm seeing almost 250,000 pins under this category, but when I actually go to the category, I don't see all of my pins. And they basically told me that you're not going to see them. They're going to work in the background. They're there on the server and other people can see them. But for me, in order for me to see them, I would have to post them manually onto my business profile. So I'm like, okay. And again, like I explained in the last podcast, what those look like is they actually have the price on there. So there's the visit site button, and there is, where is it? Is this the right one? I thought it was. Hold on. Well, there's the price on here. And this one is, you can see the price up here. Now, on something that I post manually, you don't see the price up there in the corner. So yeah, specifically these are, they call them product pins, and they're really good, like I said, in letting people know that this is an item that you can buy or purchase. So very, very helpful. Now, the other thing I want to look into is my writing, which I feel like it can be a downloadable item with the right presentation, or it can be like a poster or something. But I don't know if I want to design it in a special way or just have something written out that's interesting or inspiring or thought-provoking, like, and then how do I want to sell that to people? So there's that. So that's on the horizon. That's something that I'm looking into, because this one is also one of my favorites. Hold on. Yeah. If we always handle conflict with an eye for an eye, eventually no one will be able to see. And then that can be a free download on Shopify, just to get like an introduction to, or like an introduction to having people be comfortable with having a transaction on the website. So that's what I'm thinking about. I think that'll be a good intro. Because I mean, across the board, I really need to improve on engagement and presentation. So that's where my focus is. That's where my focus is. Yeah, their algorithm's doing the same thing. It's posting things that I don't want to see, and I'm constantly turning them off. Um, and all of it says it's sponsored. So yeah, I don't know about that part of it in terms of browsing for myself, but as long as everything on here is good, in terms of impressions, then I'm happy with that. Now you can also go into, let's see, Business Hub. And then here's all the numbers. Impressions up almost 870%. Engagement up almost 300%. Saves over 770% up. So again, I'm going to give this a few months for it to stabilize, because I don't think that these numbers up this high are going to, I don't think they're going to hold. Could be wrong. I don't know. Because as I add more product to the store, it's going to add more variants, which is going to add more impressions, which is going to keep everyone's interest on the business profile. So I'll see how it goes. But for right now, I'm just cautiously optimistic, and I'll see how things hold up over the long term. But we just got into the third quarter of 2025. So for the next 3 months, I'll look at traffic and what's going on. All right. And so that's all I have for this episode. I did hear from, I remember watching on Latasha James's podcast that there's a feature in here for posting, like automatically posting to all your social media channels. And I tested it out before, and I just didn't like how it was going to every channel, because I post a little bit differently sometimes on each profile. So I just ended up doing everything individually anyway. And I'm just doing a better job at posting everything on time. Usually around when I'm supposed to go to lunch. So that's something that I'm just trying to stick to at this point. Do a better job at sticking with when I want to post each day. But yeah, I like the numbers so far, and then obviously I have to get, well, there's a lot of room for improvement. So that's what I have to focus on. All right, so if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, certain subjects that you would like me to go over or discuss, just let me know, and I'll try to jump into that when I have the opportunity. And I'm also going to look into the type of content I want to post. Just look more into that, like the type of content I want to post on here. That's going to draw more attention. So that's all I have for right now. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care.